How you doing, YouTube? Matt with Massive Beer Reviews, back with yet another review, and it is some bourbon barrel-aged Imperial Stout time. Who doesn't love that kind of time? In the form of elliptical, or is elliptic? I think it's elliptic, and I'm being a douche, I'm not saying it right. Ecliptic Brewing's Oort, bourbon barrel-aged Imperial Stout. Yeah, super excited to give this a whirl, because, one, never heard of the brewery, two, bourbon barrel-aged Imperial Stout. Let's see what happens, because there's so many different variants you can get with barrels and stouts and stuff. And three, it's got foil on it. Who doesn't like fucking foil? Anyway, this is sent to me by my buddy David out in Oregon. He sent me an epic Oregon beer mail, and this is in it. Thank you very much for sending it off. Really excited to give it a whirl. As far as what it actually says on a bottle, it says Oort barrel-aged Imperial Stout, Ecliptic Brewing, Asian bourbon barrels, batch number 1. January 2016. This being March 2016. Yeah, it's a bit over a month old, so something you'd be like, maybe I want to let it sit, but this is my deal. Okay, people send me a lot of beer. Well, not a lot of beer, but some people send me some beer, and they're like, "Oh, you should age this." As David has said in a couple things, and I just can't do it. Not because I'm like, "Oh my god, I just got to drink everything in my sight," but I need to taste stuff when it comes out. You have to, and that's one of the things when it comes to aged beers, not to kind of jump the rails here and kind of talk about aged beer, but if you're going to drink aged beer, you should always try and get doubles at minimum, so you can drink the beer when it's fresh, then drink it aged to see where it goes, because if you drink it when it's aged, you don't know how it's changed. So anyway, so hopefully I drink this, and if I love it, eventually in my travels I find some more. As far as what it says here, we got a little story time. I'm going to make this even longer of an intro. It says, Oort Imperial Stout is named after a mysterious region of our solar system that breeds comets. Massive amounts of roasted barley and chocolate malts were combined with 3 types of caramel malt for rich, full mouthfeel. Chinook, Cascade, and Sterling hops to lend a balanced bitterness and subtle hop flavor to this brew that is black as the vacuum of space. This barrel-aged version slumbered for 15 months, so I'm not too upset about cracking out, because a decent amount of time to spend in a barrel. 15 months in 12-year-old bourbon barrels. Imparting flavors of bitter chocolate, vanilla, and oak. It drinks especially chocolatey, with some heat from the barrel. Would that be that? Did I say an ABV? Did I give you that? I think it's 12 and change, 12.1% alcohol by volume, and that'd be that. Label-wise, I dig it, man. It's a matte black with reflective foil, which just does it for me label-wise. Art design is cool. It's kind of like a barrel that's attached to like it's a satellite, but a barrel is the head instead of machinery. I dig it. So there we go. Bring out the nice long stem tulip for this one. I haven't broke that sucker out in a while. I found a pair of these long. Funny part. Let me talk about that for a second. Funny part is, I get a lot of people writing me about like, where the fuck did you find these glasses? And I found them at a fucking flea market or a Goodwill store, and I found a pair of them, and I was like, these are really fucking cool. And I actually got like 8 glasses for like $1. And these were in the set. I broke one of these the other day, so now I don't have its fucking mate. I'm super fucking angry about that. Anyway, stop listening to me fucking be angry. Let's pour this sucker in there. I'm telling you what right now. That does not look like it's going to suck. Bit of a head on there, so it's going to be hard for me to kind of yank a nose out of this sucker, but that's me being the douche with the aggressive pour that I do. I mean, head-wise, it's fucking coffee ice cream in color. I mean, what else do you want with that fucking thing? It's defying gravity. It looks like a fucking pillow on the top. Perfectly uniform bubbles, and it looks like fucking coffee ice cream. I mean, we're off to a great start right here. Color-wise, it's dark. That's my opinion, because it is fucking dark, and it's very dark. Let's see if we can get a fucking nose off here. Take a little bit of a sip of water. A little bit of hop in my mouth from doing a review earlier. It's chocolate, man. They said it in there. It's fucking chocolate. Chocolate. Caramelized caramel. You want to go fucking extra? Fucking caramel? Not only is there caramel, it's caramelized caramel. Or is it caramelized caramel? I don't know. Anyway. Cherry. vanilla. It's all the sweet candied parts of bourbon. I don't really get much barrel. I'm getting chocolate. Yeah, chocolate's dominating factor in here. It's like you mixed chocolate syrup with caramel syrup at this point, and then you have all those kind of like maraschino cherry juice kind of vibe in the background. But yeah, it smells like a ton of barrel. Smells like there's a sweet malt beer in there, but I'm not getting zero roast on it whatsoever. So yeah, let's dive in and see what she's got. Cheers. Yeah. Ooh. On that back end. Roasted coffee. Out the fucking wazoo in the back. Wow. That's a fun little tidbit. I was kind of like getting through it and I didn't see much and I didn't react much because I was like, it's solid. That's my thought process. So I was like, okay, this is solid. This is the definition of solid. I enjoyed it. I like it. But there's no calling card to it until that finish. And I got that huge burst of roasted coffee. And the fucking, you talk about crazy legs. Crazy Legs Johnson. It's like, you're not going to be able to see it on camera, obviously, but there's like tiered legs on here. It's crazy. And you see every time it gets pushed up to a point and pulled down, it actually adds another layer to it. That's how leggy it is. Right off the bat, you get a little bit of roasted malt. And you get a little bit of sweetness in there. Then it kind of releases into bourbon barrel territory to where you start getting like that sweet cherry, a little bit of chocolate. Not as much chocolate as you'd expect off the nose. The nose is huge in chocolate, not as big in the mouth, but it's still there, but it's not gigantic as it was in the nose. Chocolate, sweet, kind of that maraschino and cordial cherry vibe you get from barrels sometimes. You get a little bit of vanilla in there. A subtle chart. And then once you actually kind of swallow it and let it kind of do its thing, coating your throat, then all these awesome kind of coffee roasted notes kind of come out. So, yeah, it's a fun ride, man. It's a fun ride because you get multiple parts on every sip. Yeah. Age, though. I definitely think, like I said, okay, I was hoping, perfect world, I would age this, have two of them and age it. I think this needs age. I'm not a big proponent of aging barrel-aged beers for the long haul, but I think give this a year or two, it might kind of hash out some flavors and round out a little bit of flavor. It's not that it's too jarring to begin with, but I think age might make it pop. It's a little bit, it's definitely not underwhelming, but it's a little bit, it needs a little something, and age might provide that. So we'll see. Hopefully, if I can get another bottle. So yeah, it's a really well done barrel aged beer. It's just, there's really not much there as flaws go, but at the same time, there's not a ton of there besides that kind of little coffee pop at the end that kind of give it a little bit of personality. So let's talk about it. It's one of the barrel aged beers I've had as of late. No, but it's pretty fucking good. Would I buy it again? Absolutely. Just to age it to see what happens. Wouldn't be something I'd be picking up, multiples of just to share with people. And I don't want to, it sounds like I'm kind of pooping on it. I'm not. It's a really nice beer. It's a one and done almost for me, other than aging it. Let's see what else. Value and availability, no idea. Out west, I assume it's kind of limited because it's probably a small brewery. And if you like, well, you like this? Honestly, to me, this would be like a kind of Cicerone, Cicerone kind of, whatever you want to call it, flavor profile. Like, let's calibrate our barrel-aged stout. Excuse me, super burp there. Our barrel-aged stout palate. Be like, okay, this is what a barrel-aged stout is. I mean, that coffee in the end is a little bit askew outside of the typical level of calibration, but as far as body, as far as flavors, you get your vanilla, your cherry, your barrel, you getting your sweet, you getting a little bit of smoke. You know what I mean? It's just that coffee in the end is a little bit bigger than what you'd expect. But it's the definition of what a barrel aged stout should be. So it's one of those things where if you want to kind of like know where beer is and where it should be, this definitely be something worth picking up just to kind of just know where that line is. If you like coffee in the back end, you'll like this. And if you just like well-made beers, because that's what it is. It's a well-made beer. And it definitely wouldn't steer you wrong. So given its, I know I have no idea how its availability is, but if it's something a bit harder to find, if you find yourself crossing its path in your travels, and you're into barrel-aged beers, it'd definitely be worth picking up. Just give it a whirl. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. If you did or you didn't or somewhere in between, please leave a comment in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. If you want to check us out anywhere else on the internet, you can. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Untapped, Massive Beers in all 4 of those places. Yeah, there you go. Another review in the books. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a nice barrel-aged beer right now. Hopefully see you next time. Cheers.